Hi, this is Kim Pinkney and welcome to my channel. Alrighty, so today I am going to continue with this draw this in your own style. This is the artist is Taylor Channing on Instagram, and you'll be able to see all the different styles of his character under hashtag BYTCZDay. So, this is going to be my take, and I'm definitely late to the game, but I figured let's go ahead and have some fun with this. No pressure. So I'll go ahead and do a quick replay because I did go a little bit further than, I just wanted to get a jump start on this morning. And let's see, time-lapse replay, and I'll just kind of go over what I did because it's going to go like pretty fast. Okay, so I was in let's see, easy pose, and I created this character here, or at least this pose, kind of fluffed her up a bit, and the arm, trying to be a little bit reflective of what he has, just a little. Started on the skin, did the eyes, and eyelashes, and I go over all that in the first video live stream. And then today I'm going to be working on the hair and the rest of the accessories, and the lips. Can't forget the lips. And maybe if I have time, I'll go ahead and do some fun things to that gun. Okay, so a lot of the things that I was discussing in the last video had to do with a little bit of lighting, and that was like the last bit that I got to touch. Now I'm picking up right here today, doing the hair, just kind of blocked it in. Then I turned it off, and I added a few more highlights to the leg, the arms, and the face, just a little. And then started on the goggles, and I just pretty much was drawing the goggles in. Kind of used a light brush pen to go ahead and do the highlights. Linear burn for the shadows. Did a little bit of warping to get the goggles on her head, and added the spikes last, well, second to last, and then just added the shadows, the crack. And we'll be coming up on the end when we get to the lips, I believe, or the eyebrows rather. No, top of the head. Oh yeah, in the ears. I put her earrings in, but I haven't done the shadows in the earrings yet. And that's where I ended this morning. Okay, so basically all I did is I blocked this in, went around with the hairbrush here, the short hairbrush, and then filled it in. And let's see, look at my layers here. So we got the back of the hair, the goggles, and the spikes, the earrings. They look like I've already put them onto the, I already put that onto the main layer. And the last thing I was adding were the, Alright, so I got her highlight here. I'm going to work on, let's get those lips in there. Okay, so looking at the lips here, nice and full. Make sure nothing's getting cut off. Okay, and we'll put some of the makeup on her as well. Okay, so I'm going to do the lips kind of like how I did the goggles. I pretty much took a color, and let's see, we're going to use like we want to use the mid-tone, so we'll make sure we have it on its own layer. Perfect. I'm going to merge these other layers down so we have plenty of layers to play with. I'm going to merge everybody but the hair portion, so I'm going to merge this. Try to decide, do I want to do that? Let's see. I'll merge that to that. There we go. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I just want to make sure I have plenty of layers to play with. I believe I only have because I'm doing this at a high resolution at 600 DPI, I only have 11 max layers, and that includes the bottom layer. So we shouldn't need too many. Okay, so and I saw a few errors in my thing, but I don't want to jump around too much. Okay, so we need that mid-tone there. It's funny, when I was doing the replay, I'm like, ooh, I gotta fix that. Ooh, I gotta fix that. Ooh, I gotta add nails. Okay, so we'll say mid-tone, and I choose the mid-tone because it's a good place to start. This program, you can pretty much start anywhere, because you can paint over everything. It's not like you're doing a traditional artwork where you are constrained to different techniques. I'm gonna make sure her lips are nice and full, and I'm just doing a shape. We're gonna have her tongue stick out too. Now, because her head is tilted upwards, the mouth kind of tilts downwards. So I'm kind of doing that shape first, and then I'm gonna kind of puff up her lips a little bit. Just a little bit more, because her mouth is going to be slightly open. And we'll go ahead and do the tongue, and we'll just kind of like have it go to the side instead of straight up. And we'll kind of have it like how he's got. We'll desaturate it just a little bit for some shadows. We'll put another color on there, and then we'll put a darker pink on there so you see what's going on. Just put it a little bit darker. Just bring it down just a smidge. I'm not going to put like all kinds of crazy detail on it. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of smudge the colors together. Okay, now because this is on its own layer, I can do a clipping mask. And you see how he's got like it darker around the edges? I'm going to go ahead and do that too for him. And the clipping mask will keep your lines from going outside of the pixels that are there. So you're only messing with the pixels that are there. Alright, now it looks really super flat right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to start adding some more detail. Bring this down just a smidge. Okay, let's add some highlights. I'm gonna jump into the white because I'm gonna end up smudging it in and creating a gradient. So we'll have a little bit of white here. We'll throw white all around here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to smudge upwards first on the bottom lip, and that changes the color here to like a bright pink, or a lighter version of what's already there, since they're kind of being smudged together. Okay, so whenever you have that highlight, there's going to be a corresponding shadow. So we're going to throw a little bit of shadow beneath that. zoom in a little bit. Go ahead and hop on here. And just kind of make the lips a little bit more full. We'll grab a little bit more of that color. Just like right here. So like when you come from that highlight, it starts to get darker and darker the more you move away from the round highlight there, to the point where it gets dark, and then it'll pick up a little bit of light. So keep the lips nice and full. There we go. And then we'll take a little bit of this color here. You're going to get a highlight on, let's see, there we go. I want that tone. Now I don't want this highlight down here to be as bright as the highlight up there, because it's not getting that kind of light. It's not getting the same amount of light. Get on the other layer. There we go. This is the layer I want. So I gotta affect that. There we go. And that gives it more of a roundness to her lips. I'm going to merge these guys together. And then I'm going to blend so that the colors are a lot more subtle. So you have your highlight right here. You have it receding here, and it goes to dark one more time. Let me get one of these dark tones here and make it really thin. And that would be the separation between the lips, the tongue, and the mouth opening. And then up here is going to be kind of like the opposite. I'm going to take this tone here, we get up to right there, and then I'm going to place it right here. Like it's kind of reflecting the tongue a little bit. But it doesn't really get this, like that white highlight. And then I'm going to kind of merge these colors together, or blend them together. Because my favorite gradients are the kind that you can't tell where one color ends and the other color begins. Oh, it would help to have the right brush. There we go. This is the Smudge Brush. And I should be using Soft Brush on here. Okay, since this is all on the same layer, I can erase a little bit and trying to define the tongue just a little bit more. You can do that by adding a few shadows. So let's go ahead and add a shadow. Just really soft, darker red color. Now the top of the lip should be a different color than the bottom here. The bottom's going to catch more light than the top lips, because it's I don't want to do that, but just know that it's going to catch a little bit darker tones, even though they're kind of colored the same. They should be doing that. Let's see, I'm going to bring her lips out just a little bit more and get that corner of the mouth a little bit more, and just kind of blend it all together. All right. And always remember to zoom out every now and then to see what's going on. I'll zoom out a little bit more. Okay, so because I made her eyes big, I'm going to make her mouth a little smaller, but I'm still going to kind of keep it full. So I'm going to grab my lips. And I'm going to kind of bring them up just a little bit. Let's see how we look. Not too bad, not too bad. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of the fuzz out of here just by erasing any of this that I don't need and then kind of blending inwards. And I want to keep her lips nice and smooth. Now you can do this either with a harder brush, or you can, because this brush is so versatile, I just made the brush a little smaller right down here. Okay, and I'll do the same thing with the smudge brush. And I'll bring some of this out a little bit for the corners of her mouth. I'm just cleaning up some of the area. Oops. Okay, and then I'm going to take a little bit of the top corner of the mouth and just kind of bring it down just a little bit past, and then kind of smudge it a bit. Let me use a little bit of brown here, just near the corners here. Use a darker color. There we go, so you can see it better. You just kind of give her a hint of a smile. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to define the nose. You don't have to do this on, if you're doing anime, you don't have to do that. Okay, I'm going to merge the lips on down with the face. And then make a new layer for the nose. Now I'm going to use some of the shadows here and the highlights to define the nose. So I'm going to define where the eye sockets are. Let's see, and we'll just kind of take a little bit of, let me sample a little bit of color here, or actually like right here. We'll take a little bit of that and I'll bring this down a bit. That way the more I tap, the more I'll get. There's that. We'll put a little bit here. And she's got lights around her, well not lights, but makeup around her eyes area. So I'm going to add a little bit of that. Let's see, we'll stay about like right here in the orange. We'll stay down low so we don't obliterate the eyelashes. And we'll just keep tapping. That's a little bright, so I'm going to go a little darker. And we could probably go even a little bit more darker, a little bit more red. Look like a little red panda here. Let's go darker. And go a little bit more red. We'll just go this way. Okay, and to make that look even more red, I'm going to grab a little bit of brown and just kind of come around the edges of her eyes, kind of giving her like eye bags just a little bit. We won't see too much of it because her eyes are angled downwards, so we'll probably just see about that much. Okay. We'll put a little bit here to define her eye ridge here. Got a little bit of shadow. This heart kind of sticks out a little bit. I'll have to cover that up a little bit with hair. Okay, we'll make it a little bit dark around the edges here. Her neck, particularly behind the ears, we'll make it a little bit darker. Just bring it out more. And I'm going to kind of smudge it here so it's kind of subtle, a little bit more subtle. We'll make it darker in a little bit. Okay, so we got that going on. Let's get that nose. Get a few highlights in there so we can kind of define where the nose actually is and where the light's hitting it. And she looks like she's got a rounder nose, so we can go ahead and we'll put a little bit of a highlight. We'll put it about like right here. And then we'll define where the nostrils are. And I'm going to keep her nose kind of small. We'll stick to some of the anime or manga look. A little stylized manga look. I want her nostrils a little darker. Not too dark though. I don't want her to look like a pig. And one way to keep it from looking like a pig, like a pig nose, is kind of, you have it's darkest in this area. And then you want to kind of give it a gradient coming down. Kind of fill this in a little bit more. Now, when I was in art school, one of the things that, digital graphic arts, one of the things that they were mentioning is that imagine the nose like a pyramid shape. Ancient Egypt. But it'll be like a pyramid. I'm going to draw a little bit here, and I'll put it on its own layer so I can just delete the layer when I'm done. It's a pyramid, kind of like this. And the way my teacher described it was, it's a pyramid with one side flattened. And this is the side that's going to get flattened. And that's where our highlights are going to go. So our nostrils, let's see, where was I working? Like right here. It'll be like right here. I can make it even smaller though. There we go. But it's like a pyramid. So you see the pyramid. That was the point of that. Okay, so let me go ahead and delete that. So you kind of got that pyramid shape. And this side, these sides right here are going to catch some of the light as they come down because of the way her head is angled. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of brighter touch. I'm still down low, so I gotta tap it to get what I need. And I'll probably bring it down just a little further. Let's see. We'll smudge this stuff out. There we go. So we're kind of moving it to the highlight. And if you can imagine, the pyramid has like a little ball on the tip of it, the part that's flattened. We'll put that on there too. And we'll give it like a little bit of the red here. Like it's reflecting a little bit off the lips. And maybe it has a little bit of makeup or a little bit of blood. And I'll throw a little bit of brown in there, because think of the ball. You got that highlight, then you have the corresponding shadow. And because the nostrils kind of flare up a little bit, sometimes you'll have like a little bit of light going around the edges, depending on the shape of the nose. So we'll give her like a little bit of highlight. And then right here, you can even do this sort of thing. But don't keep it bright. You want to kind of highlight it, or I'm sorry, blend it in so it doesn't look like a mistake. So I'm using the smudge tool, and I'm just coming around and just kind of smudging in the color, bringing it around in different spots. I should have used like this color here instead of white. It's just not going to be that bright. Now she looks like she's got like cocaine around her nose or something like that. Let's see. No worries. Just go ahead and give it like a little covering here. Bring that color back. Okay, let's see. I want to bring it a little darker. Here, get a little bit of brown here. And then your lips usually have this little area here. I can make her lips a little bigger. That way it covers up a little bit of this area here. So let me lift her lips up a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and sample. Since I've already merged this down, I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste it onto its own layer. Oh, didn't do it because I wasn't on the lip layer. Okay, here we go. There we go. Get on that layer. And I'm trying to get as close as I can to the lips here. And I'm just going to raise it up a little bit and make it a little bit bigger, more full. Okay. Now that should be on its own layer. There we go. And we'll use a little bit of the warp tool with the advanced mesh. It just gives me a few more things to play with. There we go. And just kind of raise it up a bit. And then I'm going to kind of bend the mouth down a little bit, and then we'll zoom out to see what it looks like. I think that'll do it. There we go. All right. All right, so in his picture, she's got a lot of that reddish color here. We'll go ahead and bring some of that in there as well. I'm going to take a little bit of that highlight and bring this down. And I'm going to kind of use a little bit of this, make it a little bit lighter. Let's see. We'll just bring it up this way and just kind of keep that highlight going. And then we'll define her cheekbones just a smidge. We'll just put a little bit of that highlight in there. And then we'll make it a little red. There we go. And then let's clean up her lips here. Oops. See, am I happy? Let me zoom out a little bit. I think I'll make her lips a little smaller. Just a little. Just kind of bring it in a little bit. Use the free form and bring it in just a smidge. Okay, and then we'll bring her nose down. See, there it is. You see the difference. Let's see. Let's grab the nose. I kind of like that. All right. Now we can keep going a little bit further by putting in more highlights, more shadows, things like that. And since they're all together, we can start smudging. And it brings in a little bit of the skin here. There we go. Now the key to this, if you couldn't quite match what to do with smudging, you want to move to the color that you want to show. So like, let me put in, like, he's got like a little bit of a rim light around the cheekbone, not cheekbones, the jawbone. So I'm going to take a little bit of this pink, and I'm going to take this will force me to, there we go. We'll take the light pen and we'll just kind of bring that around her jawbone. Just kind of, oop, I want to do it on its own layer. Nah, yeah, right here is cool. Okay, so I want to put it kind of like right here to emphasize her jaw just a bit, and maybe here. It'll be dark here. But I'm going to do a little bit of smudging. Now I want a bit of this pink to come in here, and I just kind of like a softer edge. So you want it to go in the direction of wherever you want the color to go. So if I want to bring this tan color down into the pink, I start from the tan color and start smudging towards the pink, and that'll dull it up a little bit. And then I want some of that pink to get into that tan color. So I'll just kind of hit it, and then from the pink color, move it towards the tan. And I just alternate back and forth between the colors. A little bit of tan, a little bit of pink, and then whatever other side colors that I've got going around it, and just kind of smudge it in that direction. Just to make it a little bit more subtle. And jaw defining. Okay, so there's a little bit of that, and do again on the other side, just a smidge. Take a little bit of that, and just kind of, just a little bit. And then you can kind of even move it around. Smudge, if you take it, you know, like I was on the pink, and I just dragged the pink a little bit, I was able to move it around. So from the pink, I'm moving into where the tan color is. And then from the tan color, I'm going to bring that down just a little bit with the little darkness here. And that just kind of defines her jaw a little bit. Okay, let's see. Now on, what layer am I on? This layer here, I'm going to make this shadow here kind of blend with the neck here. So that kind of softens that. And then I'm going to just kind of move some of the pink around, just kind of defining her a little bit more. So let me zoom out, and that's my effect. There we go. Now I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow underneath her lip to make that pop out more. Put that on this layer because it's above. Do that there. Just, oops, wrong brush. Now I'm going to grab a little bit of this brown tone there. And I'm still here in the middle. It should be about 44, 40-ish range. And I'll just kind of build up that brown. Okay, we'll just throw a little bit here. We'll throw a little bit going around her eye. Alright, now I could go even a little bit bigger on the nose. Yeah, let's do that. Go ahead, go a little wider on the nose. Let's see, so instead of doing that, let me try Liquify first. Let's see, Liquify, and we'll just make it a little small. I'm going to merge these guys together, so make sure I got the layer. Liquify. There we go. Let's see what that looks like. You know, we should throw like something on there that says like yandere or something like that, or something like that. Anyway, let's throw a couple more highlights on, and then we'll move on to the clothes. Let's see. All right, I'm going to put it on its own layer in case I don't like it, or I need to diffuse it more. I want to kind of keep it subtle. I think what I'll do is I'll bring it down a little bit more in the opacity, and I just want to put like some subtle light in here to give it a little bit more depth here. So like around the edges of the lips, I want to throw a little bit of a highlight. Make this a little smaller since it's so small. Make it a little bigger about right here. And then where her cheekbones coming. And I think I'll use a little bit of that reddish tone. Let's see, and we'll use a little bit of that highlight again and just kind of define some of the contours of her face, just a little. We'll throw a little bit of light down here, just a smidge, and we'll throw just a little bit of light here and a little bit of light here. We can even go a little bit brighter so it's a little bit more obvious. Let's see, I want to go just a little bit brighter. There we go. And it just makes, it just gives a little bit more of the planes of the face in there. Makes her look a little bit more creepy. And then we'll kind of soften some of these edges here, so she's not too square-faced, too square-jawed. So I'm just going over everything that I just highlighted and just kind of softening it up a little bit. I don't want it to be too obvious. There we go. All right, weirdo. All right, we can also define the nose just a smidge more. Let's take a little bit more here. And just a little bit to give it that plane of the face. Let's see, we'll take a little bit of that. And since we're way, way low, just go ahead and gently add that in there. I think that'll be alright. And then I'm going to go ahead and smudge a little bit. Just go ahead and merge. And then smudge. We'll bring that smudge down a little bit. It's not as strong. The smudge is strong with this one. And I'm going to kind of blend some of these colors together here near the, between the eyes. There we go. And then just kind of blend these guys in the cheeks. And just kind of soften it. All right, there we are. Okay, let's do that outfit. Let's see. We are pink. We got a band-aid. And a couple band-aids. Alright. Let's see if we get that light pink. Almost purple. Let's see, how about even lighter than that? And we'll make it more like a string bikini than underwear, because I think it's supposed to be lingerie. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be lingerie, because bikinis don't have, I don't think they have like a big thing like there. So let's make it into lingerie then. So this is going to definitely be our little love gun too. Okay, so outfit. I'm trying to think, how do I want to put it on her? We'll put it on kind of like how he's got it here, how the artist has it. So we'll just kind of make that wide area there, and we'll kind of give it that kind of look. Whoops. Didn't want to draw it right onto the model. That way if I need to make any changes, because Kim doesn't like to commit. Alright. There we go. And I gotta remember to put some shadows in the earrings. Let's see. So we'll do... Wish I knew what these, this type of bikini or bra is called, where it sits more out here, and then we'll kind of do this sort of thing around the cups. So I'll bring it up a little bit higher. There we go. And then we'll just go ahead and fill that in with a color. All right. Let's see, we'll do the same thing with her underwear in a sec. Now it looks like there's a bit of lace around the cleavage area. Just make sure that we got... Oh, okay. My smudge was not strong. There we go. Now it's strong. Now we had shadows on her boobs. We need to emulate those. So one way to do that, since we can't see them right now, we'll just kind of soften. Make that a little stronger. Okay. We're going to have a whole nother layer, and then we're going to drop the opacity on this, or turn it off completely. We don't want to turn it off completely, so we won't be able to see. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and do some of those pink shadows. Let's see, we'll bring it, will be about like that, and then we'll drop the opacity on those, and we'll just kind of see if we keep those shadows that we had going on, and we'll make them darker. Let's see, a little bit lighter. Let's see, and we'll take that and we'll let that be like the dark tone here. Okay, and then we should be able to bring this back up to opacity. There we go. And I'm gonna duplicate this, make it a little darker, and then I'm gonna merge everybody together. Ooh, let me see. Let me try something. Let's do an add layer. The add layer is to add like really bright tones here. So we're going to use like, but it only works really above this. You see where on this circle here, you see where it gets all dark in this neck of the woods here. The add layer only works above that, really. Like wherever this ends, like right here, the add layer only works about in this area, and it makes it brighter. Now the opposite is true of the linear burn layer. So we'll throw a little bit of highlight here, and we'll just kind of make it deep here. And we'll do the same thing on our strap. Throw it like maybe about right here, since it's like closest to the light, but it is kind of like obscured by her hair, just a smidge. Just making it brighter. And then I'm going to go ahead and smudge like the wind. I'm going to bring everybody together, and then we'll smudge. Oh, before I forget any colors, let's go ahead and do her underwear part. Let's see, we'll give her a high-waisted panty. That should make her legs look a lot longer. And it'll make her, it looks almost like it'll make her waist look a little longer too. There we go. My color fill wasn't hitting. Okay. Let's get it one more time. And just try to remember that you're working kind of in like a 3D aspect. You're not coloring it flat. So like the clothes wrapping around the body, so I'm going to bring it down just a little bit and get that wrap. Just kind of do that sort of thing. There we go. And we can deselect. And I'm going to smudge some of this. All right. Alright, so it's a little darker down here, so I'm going to grab a little bit of the dark tone here and just kind of smudge that on in. You want to avoid anything red down there. Okay, and then grab that white and we'll just kind of slap it on a couple places. Wherever we think that it's going to kind of come forward. And we can go a little bit darker or a little bit pinker here. Let's see, did I? Yeah, I merged everything onto the layer. Okay. I was wondering if I merged everything in. Okay. Da, 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 da. Okay, now what I'm doing is smudging. Again, I'm going to take, I'm going to start at the bottom edge around here and then work my way upwards and downwards. You know, add a little bit more down than I do up. That way it kind of looks like it almost has a seam. And then from the center portion here, I'm going to bring that into the dark tone and just kind of soften it. See, I don't know if you can see my circle. Yeah, so you can see kind of where I'm softening. And then here, I'm going to bring a little bit more of the pink into it, into the light portion. So not one color is like dominating everything. Well, maybe the pink is. The brightest pink or the mid pink. Okay, so there we go. I are happy. Okay, so we got a little red heart. I'm lazy, so I'm going to take like this heart here, which I'm glad I haven't obscured yet. And I'm just going to grab it. Grab your heart. And then copy and paste it. That should be on its own layer. Yep. Oops. And we'll just bring it down. Okay, got the freeform tool. See if it'll let me just bring it. Yeah. Just bring it. And then we'll make it bigger. And kind of put it that way. And we'll distort it just a bit. Okay. And then because it's on its own layer, we can just grab our closest red and just, or we could select the layer and it'll just fill it completely because I've got the color fill on. Alrighty, and since it's on its own layer, now if you don't want to color outside the lines, you've got two choices. You can, if you don't want to mess up what's already there, you would make a clipping mask like I would do and go around the edges like I want to, or if you don't care about, you know, the original shape, you can, what was it? It was Alpha Lock. So you can color this without any kind of worry that it's going to go outside the lines. So like, you know, Alpha Lock. I'm all over the place and it only affects what's there. So, I don't care about doing Alpha Lock. I always forget to turn it off. So I'm going to use the clipping mask. That way the red of the heart is not disturbed. And this stuff is only going to affect what's inside this heart. Let me make it a little bit brighter. And then we'll take like a red, like a close to black red, and then just kind of come around the heart. And I'll take a little bit of the next darker and just kind of, we can do like a kind of a gradient type of thing. So I'm on this layer, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of blend these guys together. Bring this out a little bit more, traveling away from the highlight, going into the shadow, and the shadow should be opposite the brightest light. So right there is where my shadow should be, and I'll bring it up a little bit, and then I'm going to grab a little bit of this in-between tone, and I'm going to stick that down here. Because as you go away from the darkness, you start to come back into the light again, but not as bright as that right there. It's one way of looking at it. My art teacher, when he was explaining this concept, he says that imagine a man on the moon, and he's on a planet where it's being lit up, and he lands in the whitest part, but then he decides to travel. So as he's walking away from the light, the lightest part, it starts to get dark and dark till it gets to its darkest phase, and then it starts to lighten up again. And that's the trick to making things look round. And the more that you can blend it where you can't tell where one ends and the other one begins, you got a really good blend. No hard edges. And they just kind of fall into each other. But to make it dramatic, then you can just throw in a little bit darker areas. And then just kind of blend a little bit. Blend a little bit. Alright. So there we are. There's that little heart. Let's see. This is that ambient sound. Wish I could like weed that out. Let's see. It's called My Treehouse Sound. Don't care. Back to the deep house. Alright. So let's see. I don't know if that's part of her thigh right here. I guess it is part of her thigh. I can't see what it's doing. Okay, no worries. Let's see. Band-Aid is on this far thigh. I could switch thighs, but yeah. Okay. Since we're still working on the panties, let's go ahead. Oh, looks like he's doing the same thing with these hearts here. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and blend our underwear here. Get back to the bra. Let me merge those together. And I'm just kind of doing a big blend here. And just be careful that sometimes it gets a little muddy. So if that happens, just add more of the color that you want. Looks like they were just blending just a little too much. You can always add a little bit more contrast. Okay. Now I've got some lace textures, but none of them are like a heart lace. Let's see what we've got. At least I don't think they are. These are brushes that I created. Let's see, they are textures. Let me see if I've got anything that has like hearts in it. Ooh, okay. Let's try the brush. This is a random hearts brush. Let's see what it does for us. We'll put it on its own layer in case I don't like it. I can always fix that. Let's see. Is that my grain? Stroke path. Space it closer together. Let's see, do I want it to shape? Let's see, there's yes, trying to remember. I guess it's the way I created it. Oh, okay. So there's my shape. Looks like it's rotating a bit. Yeah, I had scatter selected. That doesn't suck where they're. So if I'm doing her boob here, let's see. There we go. Perfect. Alrighty. Clear that. Oh, my brush is a little too big. Let's bring that down some. Now it's a little too small. What if I just go straight across? Let's see what else I've got. Let's see, is she the diamond kind of girl? Let's see. See, I think this one might be a little too big for it. Actually, it's kind of cute. I think we could probably make that work. Let's see if we got anything else. Now, Procreate also has a swirly brush, but once I started seeing everybody using it, I'm like, I am not using this brush. So I decided to learn to create my own. Here's one that's lace. Here's another thing that I can do. Let's see. Make that. Try to think. Let's make a shape. His lace is coming in and out like a scallop. Let me see if I've got anything that's scalloped. Probably not. This is lace. Yeah, all a good portion of these brushes I made myself. Ooh, that's pretty. Let's have some fun with it. Okay, let's see. I am going to take, let's see, which brush should I use? It was abstract. Let's try waveform and see what it looks like. No. Let's try triangulum. I love triangulum. Let's try membrane real quick. What I'm trying to, ooh, that's pretty. I gotta remember to use that for maybe her little veil, I guess, that she has, lack of a better word. Okay, so what I want to do is just kind of do that scallop trim around here. Does he have it on? Oh, he doesn't have it on the straps. But he does have it. Oh, it's only in one place. Now, I thought that was part of that. Okay, my bad. Well, should I keep it? Nah, it looks tacky. So we'll take it off of the straps. Okay, so we'll keep that. And I wonder if I can turn it red. That's good. Okay. And then I'm going to make a clipping mask. And then I'll go ahead and use that brush that, oops, wrong one. It was under textures, ornate. Okay, because that's red on red, really can't see it that well. Let's try pink. There we go. That's making it pop out a little bit. Let's see. Let's try a little bit of white. Or white-ish. There we go. That's beautiful. There we go. Lovely. Okay. And I think I'll use, because it doesn't go with anything, I'm going to do that little, I don't know what that's called. The little veil thing in that same kind of pattern. So I'll take that. Let's see if I... Oh, but she's got like a heart motif going on, doesn't she? Oh no. I guess we'll stick with what the artist has. I want it to stay recognizable. Okay. So we'll go ahead and combine those guys. Bring it down. Make another layer. And then let's see if we can just kind of emulate. Let's see, that should be red. All right. And we'll drop the opacity a bit. Okay, and then let's throw some hearts on here. Not red enough. Let's see. Let's go ahead and merge that. Make a new layer for our hearts. Whoops. Oh, hold up. Let's see. Bring that down. Can I do those in a heart shape? No. It's got too much of a pattern. This is like the best thing that Procreate's ever came up with. The fill. Just make that selection. Almost done. All right. So now that they're on their own layer, I can affect all of them by making a clipping mask. Just a little bit of maybe a darker red, not black. And then just kind of everything that's in the shadows, kind of hit those guys. And then everybody in the light, got a little something for y'all to just put a little bit of, oh, it's not a clipping mask. Yeah, it is. Just a little bit more white on it. Don't want it to look like it's faded. Let's see, I could probably go darker on those. Let's see, find our color. So maybe about that tone, and it's hit select, and it should fill those in a little bit darker. That's not too bad. I'll go ahead and put those guys together, and I guess that'll be alright. See if we can make them darker. It's a little too dark. So yes, pin light. This is linear light. Hard light's cool. It's still a little bright though. Let's see. Okay, normal's cool. Bump it. Normal was best after all. Alright. And then we'll just throw a little bit of shadow. We'll grab a little bit of this. And just put a little bit here. And she's already got some shadows going on. We'll go ahead and merge that and do a linear burn. Knock it down to about 30%, and we'll do like a hard shadow. We'll do a few hard shadows. So we can do that, kind of bring it down here a little bit, and we can kind of soften it. I think we should soften it. Let's see. Alright, and just go ahead and soften that a little bit. Let's bring it down. We'll do a hard shadow here. Oh, that's a little soft. That's cool. Let's see, we'll take a little bit of that, drop this down a little bit, and just kind of give it a little bit of a belly here. Let's see. He's got more of a waist than I do. Let's puff her up a little bit. Let's see. We're going to use the Liquify tool, and I'm just going to give her a little bit more of like a little curvature here. So you've got the push. There we go. Just bring her out a little bit. Just a little. Oh shoot, how is it? Okay, I'm good. I'm good. Try to cinch that waist in a little bit more. There we go. Okay, good enough for government work. Does she have muscle tone? Not really. That's okay. Alright, so she's got like a little red sash about the same color as these bad boys here. Let's see, so let's go red. Oops. Oops. Gotta get off that tool. Ooh, and I did it on the same layer. Rats. Oh well. We work with it. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste that onto its own layer. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. I'm going to copy and paste this onto its own layer so I can add some shadow without making a mess of too many things. There we go. Let's go ahead and throw some we don't need to have it selected. There we go. Oops. We'll do the clip. Yeah. No, not clipping mask. Sorry. We'll do the alpha lock on this one. Okay, let's merge that together. All right. Band-aid, I suppose. Let's see, almost there. So what's next? The hair. I think the hair is going to be the last bit. I should have put this on its own layer, but lazy. Okay, I need a little bit of this pink here. We'll just kind of define some of the edges here. You know what? I don't know if I want to put this on here. Oh well. But you made me do. Okay. Oh, I apologize. I have not been in the chat to at least say hi to anybody that popped in. And nobody popped in, so that's cool. But yeah, if you guys want to say hi, that's cool. I'm here for you. Just talking to myself. I ain't worried about it though. This is whoever's here. I guess this is for you. And thank you for joining me. Now, once this is all done, all the live streams, hopefully it'll just be 2. There we go. We can cast a little bit of a shadow on here. Let's go ahead and throw, oops, throwing a little bit of shadow here. Okay, so we got that one, and then we got one more band-aid, and then we could play with our hearts here. Oh, before I forget, I'm just going to throw a little bit of black onto each of these. There we go. Now it doesn't look dumb, or as dumb. Let's see. All right. This time I'm going to put it on its own layer. Do a little down and dirty here. Let's see, we'll hit add. Okay, clipping mask. I'm sorry, I'm going so fast. Not unlike what I've already been doing. Alrighty. So I think what I'll do is have tomorrow be designing the gun. Use the Liquify tool real quick. We'll make this a little smaller. Oh, we'll come to a point. Okay. Oh well, today is going to come in a square. And it'll be smaller. And rounder. Missing a heart. Alright. Merge those guys together. Alright. Now that random heart thing that I was creating with my brush, I think would be great for this. Let's go ahead and throw that heart in the paw here. Or actually, we'll do that with the gun. Let's go ahead and do the hair. Let's see, I'm going to merge that together. Okay, so when I do hair, I usually do 3 colors at least, and then a 4th just for giggles. Let's see, looking at the waves here, I'm going to go ahead and do a linear burn layer. I'm going to make that about 40 this time. And then I'll do an add layer. For my brightness and any highlights, things like that. And let's see, we'll use the short hair brush at first, and then for detail we'll go on to another brush. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the shadows. Well, yeah, let's do the shadows first. Anything where it bends away from the light. Let's see. I'm gonna add layer, aren't I? Yes, I am. See, this is what I mean about the add layer. It will only show you bright colors. So if I change this to white, it'll show. So, okay, since we're already on white, let's go ahead and do some highlights here. Now all this is going to be merged together. these layers that I'm creating, so I can have like a little bit of depth. Let's see, so our highlights will pretty much be around the edges. And then linear burn. Now I want these guys, let's see, I want this one to be behind her. And again, with linear burn, it will only pick up black. So, with that in mind, go ahead and go to black. And since I lowered the opacity, it should show like a deeper, darker version of this pink here. All right. Zoom in a little bit. All right, so now I'm going to take one of the pinks, or the, yeah, it's more pink and purple. We'll have more, let's see, let's smudge it all together. Really fast way of doing it. I'm going to go ahead and merge that there. And since none of this white is touching her, I'm going to bring that down here and merge that as well. Fastest way of doing it is go to Liquify, sorry, Gaussian blur, and on the layer, and you just kind of slide till it kind of blurs itself. So it's like that. It makes her stand out more, but this isn't the effect that I'm going for. So I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. I just wanted to have a nice base for the colors I'm going to lay down next. Okay, so that's not too bad. It's a nice little base without having to spend a whole bunch of time smudging. Okay, so next one, and I would smudge with the short hair brush. Okay, I'm going to use the fine hair brush, and I'm going to do these little details that we've got in here. And this is where a lot of your, if you've watched a lot of YouTube videos and stuff like that, this stuff will come in handy. Like if you watch the Ross Draws, how he does hair and stuff like that, it'll definitely come in handy. Let's see, I'm going to get into this color. Let's see, let me go back. And it looks more like this tone is what he's using for highlights. So we'll make that the add layer, and we'll drop the opacity just a smidge so it's not super bright. And I'm just going to do some random movements here. Now the hair in the back you're not going to see very well. Because it's going to be pretty much like behind her. And then we'll go ahead and use a linear burn layer on that one as well. And we'll drop that to about 50 as well. And I'm just going to do some of the shadows here. I'm going to go into some of the other, where the add layer was. I'm just kind of adding to it. Usually I keep it beneath it. I'm just kind of following through with some of the curls. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to throw another color in there, maybe a deeper purple. And instead of it being either a linear or a add, we'll do a whole nother one. We'll put it beneath all of those guys, or maybe in between. Just to give her a little bit of color variance in her hair. Okay, I'm going to merge everybody together. And we just get this cute effect. And we keep going. And just kind of adding different swirls and curls and shadows and emphasizing the curves of the shape curves. So like I see a big curve here, smaller ones here. And then we'll make it a little bit brighter and we'll go over it again. It's just to give a little bit variance. Okay. Now here's some fun. I'm going to make a duplicate of this. And it gives it kind of like this little fuzz behind it. Merge that. Do one more. And then I'm going to change this to a different screen mode. Let's see if anything complements. Pin light's nice. Ooh, she should have white hair. So I liked, ooh, overlay's kind of nice too. I wonder if I can do something different to that. But she's not a redhead. So let's see, can I change the hue a little bit? This is like bumped up saturation. This is super bright. This is a little dark. Ooh, different. Okay. And then I'm going to make a mask And then I'm going to fill that mask. And then I'm going to switch this to white. And then I'm going to bring that mask back a little bit. So it'll only be pink and bright in certain places. That's the theory. There's a lot of different ways of tackling hair, and that's just one way. And I'm going to bring, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and clip that, put those together, and then I want to kind of bring in this pink again. So I'm going to duplicate one last time. Let's see. And then I'm going to kind of rein it in a little bit. I'm going to take the Liquify tool, and instead of pushing, I'm going to be twirling. And this is only going to happen on this particular layer. We'll make it a nice size. And you can even twirl it a lot. Well, I think that's a bit much. Yeah, that might be a bit much. So let's reset. Just twirl it just a bit. And this is what I was using when I was doing like underwater pictures and stuff like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the, let's see, we'll push it, Liquify, and then push, make sure it's a nice size, and then we can just kind of, we can move it around. So there's a lot of different things that you can do to hair. And if you don't like the effect, you can reset it, and you can also smudge it out and then use it as a base. So I think I'm going to use it as a base. I'm going to smudge it out. There's a lot of different things that you can do. And again, we do have another layer beneath this, so if we don't like it, we can always delete it. Okay. Okay, so we've got a lot of color variance going on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the variance and use that for this last layer. Okay. I'm going to make, let's see, I'm going to come, I don't want to combine just yet. I could duplicate this and bring it to the front. So I still have my, I have the variances beneath, especially if I drop the opacity a bit. You know, I got, you know, you got hair regardless. Okay, so let me delete that one. Okay, on this layer here, I'm going to make an add layer. Let's see, or do I not even want that? Yeah, we keep it. We'll make one more layer. Add. And this is where I'm going to just kind of straighten it out and do this stuff, but also keep the color variances that are there. So I'm going to take maybe a, I'm going to kind of keep it somewhat pink into the reddish area. Okay, and so now I'm going to use my reds. Oh, did I make this an add layer? I did. Okay, so this is going to brighten up places. I don't want to brighten up the bottom. I want to brighten up the top. Okay. Make it normal. Okay. And I'm just doing different other variances there, different other shapes. I figure if we're gonna look crazy, we may as well do it in style. Oh shoot, I'm all like chill and casual. This is almost zen-like. Okay. But yeah, I urge you to experiment with different ways of doing your hair. Throw some pink in there. Now this brush is very versatile as well. You can make squiggles. Let's go ahead and take care of these guys in the front here. Do an add layer so that we get the brightest of the bright. There we go. Alrighty, and tomorrow we'll finish up with adding the heart, maybe defining the hair a little bit more. Whoops, I don't want that down there. I want the darker tones down there. And with the I want to make, let's see, duplicate this one and we'll turn it, that's colored, this is screen, this is colored dodge, and we can drop the opacity just a bit so it's not too bright. And we can always add to our layers. I'm going to go ahead and flatten. And then I'm going to add more dark tones. We'll have like a dark purple for the shadows here. And also a linear burn layer. Drop it down to about 30 so we can bring back the tones that are behind her again. And just kind of emphasize what's in the front, what's in the back. All right. And then with my smudge brush, I'm going to switch it to, okay, it is on short hair brush, and I'm just going to kind of mess with the shadow. So it's not hard shadows. So some hair comes forward, some hair recedes, some hair has like that gradual bend to it. Hair is something that you can play with for a long time if you want, because it has just so much life to it. You know, it depends on how much you want to put into it. And again, taking that linear burn layer, let me see how dark it'll let me get. It won't let me get that dark. Okay. And then to tone up, tone down some of these other colors that are like stupid bright. Just come beneath it here. You can add. All right. And just kind of merge everybody. And then tomorrow I'll go ahead and add just like the final touches, and we should be calling it done. It shouldn't take 2 hours or anything like that. Alright, so for those of you who are just joining, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick replay, and then I will see you guys in the next video. Please like and subscribe, and suggest. Thanks for taking the time to watch my humble little video, and hopefully you gained something from this. Even if it's like what not to do. And I'm just going into some of these and just kind of like blending the tones, moving them around, sharing them with other areas. Just because. Alright. And then tomorrow we'll go ahead and define with more lines and stuff. So like making it make sense. If your lines feel like they're not going into any place or doing anything noteworthy, you can just kind of smudge them together. You can liquify, you can bump up the opacity, you can change the tone, you can sample colors and take them somewhere else. Alright, there we are. Oh, we still got to add her high heel shoes, and we got to make our love gun and our heart, and then we will be done. So tomorrow should be the video for us. Let's see what it looks like with the background color. Alright, and then we can make things brighter and darker and whatnot like that. Let's see, let's give it a somewhat brighter color. There we go. Let's do like the opposite of like this color. So like the complementary color. Let's see, we got harmony. Complementary would be this green, so let's hit that. Green should make everything kind of pop. Maybe a bluer green. That's my iPad that's doing all that. Okay. Alright. See you guys in the next video. I'll go ahead and do a quick replay for those who just joined.